Hello and welcome to my 51st podcast episode. I didn't even realise the last one was the 5th, so here I am with the 51st. That's if you take out the extra ones like the special one I did, which has had 1.2k views. I'm just amazed at that. Thank you everyone who's watched that. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Welcome. I better do a wee introduction. I normally just prattle straight into it, but here we go. I am Marta. I'm a crochet designer living on the east coast of Scotland, and today I have 3 whips for you, a pattern I'm releasing, and a printable which I have released. So I'm going to share those and future plans and bits and bobs of my life. So stick around if you fancy seeing more about that. I'm going to start straight away with my first crochet project in my Janie Crow Persian tiles bag. This is a very long-standing crochet project. I believe I started it maybe around this time last year, and I have done quite a lot since it's upside down, since my last podcast. It was 3 weeks ago that I shared one of these regular podcasts. It's 2 weeks since I shared the special on the Scottish Wool Producers Showcase, which has just had so much love. I'm just over the moon with how many views and shares and lovely comments that has had. So last time I shared this, I was around about here. I just finished the pale pink. So I've done a magenta stripe and I've done a grey stripe and I'm on to the next magenta. So I'm really happy with that. It is a wrap. It's going to go grey, pink, grey, pink. This is the centre one. Grey, and then there'll be another pink and then a grey with the magenta in between, and then it will be finished. So a good bit past halfway now. If we look, well, I'm fooling myself really, haven't I? Yeah, I've still got quite a long way to go. I guess I'm here actually. Yeah, I'm here on the other side, so I've got this to do. That's all right. It's in lace weight yarn. So it's a slow one. I knew that when I took it on, and I am enjoying it. I mean, my heart sank a moment there when I saw how much I had to go, but I am actually enjoying it. I love the fact that it's granny stitch. So your hook is just going in the space between the groups of stitches all the time. The hook action is pretty fast, and I like that about it. And I really like this one for the evening because of that, because I don't need to strain my eyes for where I'm putting my hook or my knitting needles if I was knitting. So this is my evening when my eyes are tired kind of project. And when I get into it, I totally get into it. I can spend like a couple of days just focusing on this one, and then I'll move on to something else. So at the moment I have 3 real works in progress. I haven't got my Battenberg today, so I guess that's a 4th. I have not touched that for about a month. I haven't done a single square in about a month, which is probably the longest I've ever left it. I'll share those other projects in a minute, and you'll kind of see where I'm at. There's no real reason for it. I will get back to it. I haven't fallen out with it. I'm just on a bit of a break. Trying to finish something. I think when I finish something, I'll get back to the Battenberg. Probably not going to be this, is it? I don't think I've mentioned, this is the Not So Granny Wrap by Joanne's Grace. Joanne's Grace was with the crochet project. Most of you will know that she has left that to go back to full-time employment. Can't wait to see what's going to happen with the crochet project next. I know somebody has taken it over as a business, so I'm looking forward to the future of that. I do remember that the magenta is Fibrespates Scrumptious Lace 2-ply, and it is just lovely. And these two are, I've decided they are discontinued indie yarn dyer. It was in the Yarn Garden UK yarn dyer, and it's discontinued. So that's where we're at with that. So loads of progress on that one. The other thing you will see a huge difference on is my cardigan. So this is a knitting project. It's currently my only knitting project. At the end of the last podcast, I was about to go and cast on some socks. That hasn't happened at all. Sorry, Matt, if you're watching or if my sister's watching. I was going to knit some socks for my sister's partner. That hasn't happened, but it will. It definitely will. I am just focusing my knitting energy at the moment on this cardigan, which I'm trying to get untangled. I realised I've left it in a middle of the row situation, which makes it slightly tricky to show you. But here we go. We have sleeves in place. On my last podcast, I had one sleeve finished and I had the second sleeve had maybe here to go on it, something like that. So I finished the second sleeve and I have joined it and the other one into the body of the cardigan. That went a lot more smoothly than I thought it would. It was straightforward enough. I just read the instructions, followed the instructions, did what it said, and we got there. So this is working out beautifully. I've tried it on and it fits nicely. Obviously it's bottom up, so I have to kind of hold it in place, and it does seem to be fitting me very nicely. I don't know what I did with my sleeve calculations. They come probably about where this one is. I measured the sleeve off a jumper I liked, but the jumper's construction was not the same as this, and they've ended up a little bit short. So they're knit from cuff up. I may make an extra little bit and add it on. That's one thought I had. I might just leave them. I'll wait till I try it on when it's completely finished, actually, before I make any decision. I might just leave them. I might create a sort of second cuff in a contrast colour. I think that could be quite nice. We'll just see. When I've totally finished it and I see how it hangs off the shoulder, I'll know exactly kind of how it's going to sit. It may be it's all right. Circumference wise, I'm happy. They fit nicely around the arm. Anything else to say of this one? If you've watched my other episodes, you'll know I got the yarn in a charity shop. Here is the great big, I think it made about 4 cakes. I had 2 skeins that had 200 and just over 250, so it was about 260, 270 grams in each skein. So the skeins were this size. They were huge, big, chunky skeins, and I wound them into some smaller cakes. One of the reasons I didn't podcast last week was because I ended up with another cold and I had a real tickly cough, but that is heading out the way now, which is good. Since I had COVID for the 3rd time between Christmas and New Year, and since then I have had 3 colds, which is ridiculous. I don't normally get that many colds. I just don't think my immune system has got back to its full self. Hopefully summer is around the corner. It's so much warmer today. I've been to the beach with the dog and it's apparently about 15 degrees, which is woo, and it's quite windy, so the wind chill probably takes that down quite a lot, but it's not too cold a wind. It's nice. All the school kids are out because it's school holidays here, so we've had a lot of rain. And the kids are probably very, very happy. They're getting out to the beach and to the big park by the beach. So I think that is all I have to share on this one. I guess I could show you my little needle stoppers. They are well cute. These were from Isle Stitch and they are little llamas. And the other thing, my needles are, let's see, there you go. My needles are the cubits, or is it cubics? Cubits from Knit Pro. So they've got square edges, not round. They have, yeah, you can see it in the light there. Square. They are really, really comfy and I'm enjoying using them. I'm also quite chuffed. I used just cheap wooden double pointed needles for the sleeves, and you can't see the difference between those and where they joined with the cubits, so I am happy with that. I got the same gauge, which is pretty much a miracle because I didn't check. I just went ahead and just did it anyway, and whoo, it worked. Right, final project. It's in this sock bag, but it's not socks. On a whim, I have started a new project and I am using a chickpeas whirl. It's a beautiful orange. I think it's tangerine. Tangerine is the colour. It is tangerine tambourine. Yeah, it's lovely. Really, really love this. I got it in a D-stash. I can't remember who was D-stashing. I got it for £10 in a D-stash and I was chuffed with that. So it's a fingering weight. Let me find the details for you. So per 100 grams, it is 450 meters and it's 60% cotton, 40% acrylic. It feels nice and soft. And the reason I started using it, I've had it in my stash for maybe 9 months, a year. I was watching Claudia, Sunbird Crochet's podcast, and she had a lovely discount code for Sweet Crochet Dreams, who is Mariana Muller, because she just finished one of her shawls and there was a discount code for any of her patterns on Etsy and Ravelry. That is still valid, I believe, until the end of the month. So I will link to Sunbird Crochet's podcast down below. It's always worth a watch, always leaves me feeling happy and relaxed, and I really like her podcast. I like her sense of humour, and of course I love the projects that Claudia chooses as well. So Claudia had enjoyed this shawl. I do not remember what the name of the shawl was. Nope. She just made a shawl. It had lots of different textures and patterns in it. I really liked it, and but I didn't go for that one because when I looked up Sweet Crochet Dreams' store on Ravelry, I saw one that used the whirl, and I thought, I have a whirl, so this would be a great way of using up stash. And I've just started. I started at the weekend. So it did say in the pattern that it would curl, not to worry about it. Blocking would uncurl. So here is where I'm up to. It's got lovely, lovely texture details in it. And already we've started with this texture and we're on to this bit, which is quite different. This continues for maybe to about here. It's about 30 rows of that. So really, really liking it. I love how it's working up. The pattern is the Princess Frog wrap. Princess Frog wrap. And I've just unravelled a ton while I've been talking. Top tip is to get a stitch marker and put it through your live loop, and that secures it from when you're just pulling it out your project bag, from when your puppy gets a hold of it and pulls the whole thing or whatever. So I will, if you can't do that, pull a long loop like that. That is the next best thing. If you haven't got a stitch marker to hand, do that. So the pattern is really cool. I'll put in from the Ravelry page, I'll put in an image from the Ravelry page because I didn't bring the printout with me. But you make tassels using the centre pull. I'm using the centre at the minute. So before you even start crocheting, you make a couple of tassels, and these are going to go on the other end, and you wind off some yarn as well, and that gets surface crocheted into the other end. So I've done that, and then onto this end will be some of the paler colour from the outside as a wee contrast. So I love that feature, and at the moment this has just shot into my #1 spot for my current project. So thank you, Claudia, for enabling me there. Couldn't resist. Sunday afternoon, got that started, and I am happy. So those are the 3 projects I'm working on at the minute. Like I say, I will probably finish one. I'm kind of at my maximum. If you count the Battenberg and the pair of socks that I should ideally be starting, that would be 5. That is definitely my max number of whips that I like to have on the go. I'd quite like to finish something. Probably the one I'm closest to finishing is probably the cardigan. So I will focus most of my energy on that, dabble in the other 2, and that'll keep me going until I get the cardigan finished, and then I can start socks, and maybe in the middle I'll get back to my Battenberg, do a handful of squares. So I was telling you I have a pattern launching. Today is Thursday the 11th, I think so, of April. Tomorrow, the 12th, if it is the 12th, is my pattern launch day for my spring into autumn socks. Now, this is a pattern that did actually launch in the October 2022 Crate Crochet box in Australia. My friend Carmela Ann used to run Crate Crochet, and I worked with her multiple times creating crochet patterns that went out with yarn and, if required, the hook, other little bits and pieces for the pattern. And that's been a really, really lovely relationship. I know I have a lot of Australian followers from that as well, and they're still with me today. So hello, that's you. And that's really special. It was such a nice time working with Carmela on those patterns. So that was back in 2022. The pattern came back to me in the spring of 2023, and it's just sat, and I have not released it until now. So here I am, catching up on these patterns that have been released elsewhere. I have a few others actually, so there are going to be another couple of patterns which, like this one, were released elsewhere, and now I have the rights to them again. So keep your eyes peeled. Best thing to do is to sign up to my mailing list, because they're going to get a 30% discount tomorrow when that pattern lands. And the discount code that I'm going to put out for the rest of the internet is only going to be 15%. That discount is autumn. So if you're happy sticking with the 15% discount, go ahead, it's autumn. If you want the 30% discount code, jump onto my mailing list and that will be sent to you. And I'll put out a reminder as well during the week. So if you're just catching this at the weekend, I will stick out another reminder email midway through the week, and you can jump on that. So it is a sock pattern. It is in 10 ply or Aran weight, whatever you want to call it. I use Manos del Uruguay in their Alegria Grande, which was lovely, lovely yarn to work with. It comes in beautiful 100 gram skeins, but also 25 gram minis, which made it perfect for socks, because I was able to put in the subscription box, there was the 100 gram skein and there were 3 mini skeins with the contrasts, which I thought was a lovely idea. It meant you didn't need to buy 4 100 gram skeins, right? It would also be a fantastic stash buster. So if you have 10 ply yarn kicking about, you could stripe this pattern, you could use a full skein and some little bits of scraps that you have left over. That would work as well. You'll see that I've been putting some images up of that pattern. It's it's a fun little cuff down pattern with the little puff stitches round the cuff, which just makes that a little bit more fun. And it's got a fully formed heel and gusset, which makes it a great fit. These are a comfy pair of socks. They would do for going inside a welly boot or for being around the house, or if you had looser fitting shoes, you could pop them in there too, because it is Aran weight or 10 ply yarn. So it would depend on how tight your shoes were. Great for around the house though, because of that thick cuff on them. I do not have a pair to hand. I think I sold them at a sample sale that I did a year and a half or so ago. So I do not have the original socks to share, but I do have the photos. So that releases tomorrow. They are the spring into autumn socks, and I really hope you like them. I really enjoyed working on them, and I think the others who've tested them for me and those who made the pattern out in Australia and New Zealand enjoyed that one too. And the other thing, the last thing I have to share, is another release I did last week, which was for a printable, which is something brand new for me. My project notes, and I released this as a printable to help you if you are working on a project and you wanted somewhere to keep notes, especially if it's a bigger project like a garment. So I filled this out for the cardigan. You know, it's got things like your pattern name, obviously, the designer, space for your hook or your needle size, the size you're making, things like your rating, because you might want to keep these and go back to it, and the amount of yarn that you used, because that may vary from what the pattern says. And then a fairly large section for extra notes down the bottom. And this is available for colouring in. It's not as dense as it looks because I coloured it in pink. It's probably not showing up too clearly, but you could colour that in. The heading at the top as well, I've coloured that in pink. I'm not sure how well that's showing up on your screen. So space for you to get colouring in. You could even doodle in the spaces as well if there were any little sketches you wanted to do, or just little doodles to brighten it up, then you could go ahead and do that. So that is available on my website. You will find that. You'll find the links to that, links to anything else I've mentioned. That will all be down in the description box. So I think this has been a fairly short and sweet podcast. I will finish off with a little clip with my puppy. I have a almost 5-month-old working Cocker Spaniel. So I shall, if you're into dogs, you can watch that. If you're not, feel free to bye-bye just now. I will catch you again next time. Thanks for being here. Please do subscribe. That really helps this channel to grow. I've just gained so many subscribers with the special podcast I did. So it's really just going to help my channel to grow. And I've got lots of plans coming up for you. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. So here's the section for all you dog lovers. This is Lachlan. He is 20 weeks and a few days. Actually, by the time this is released, he will probably be 21 weeks. He is about 10 kilos. He is a working Cocker Spaniel. And at the minute, he is enjoying some peanut butter. It's still one of his favourite treats. I put it in this Kong toy. Sometimes I put little meaty bits in first and then the peanut butter. And today it's just plain old peanut butter. But for him, there'll probably still be that residue of meat left over, right? And he's doing fine. He's doing fine. He's enjoying his walks. His hair is getting longer. You can see he's... Don't touch me. He's beginning to get like crazy spaniel hair. You can just see at the top of his head here. The rest of his hair is coming in a little bit curlier, a little bit longer. I think he's going to have crazy hair, which is great. We used to have, growing up, we had, I used to spot his reflection. Growing up, we had a Springer Spaniel that had lots of crazy hair on top, and we used to pleat it in little pleats for him, which I'm sure he loved. So all good fun. Lachlan loves the water. He has discovered that splashing about in the water is one of the best things. He's been in the sea a little bit, but not too much. He does like that too. He loves to meet other dogs. That's one of his favourite things. He's so friendly, so sociable. He just wants all the other dogs to be his best friend. Especially my mum and dad's dog. My mum and dad's dog really doesn't want to be best friends. Poor lad. He tries so hard to interact and be best friends. Having said that, my mum and dad's dog is very tolerant. Puts up with a lot. He's very good. Yeah. Right, have you exhausted all that peanut butter? Are you going to go away? No, not quite. Oh, there you go. You're a good boy. Everyone would love to see you. I'm going to chew my fingers. I don't think so. Oh, can you see his eyes? See how green they are? They're really gorgeous colour at the moment. You're going to shove her on your eyes. Shove her on your eyes. I saw them in the way the light changed there. Oh, looking out the window. His eyes are very green. They're a beautiful colour. I don't know if they have finished changing colour or if they are going to continue to change. Oh, they are. Wow, you saw them there. If they're going to go to an ambery colour or if they will stay that colour. I really like the colour they are just now. Really pretty. Pretty eyes, haven't you? Yeah. So I think that is all the Latham news. Thank you for hanging about and catching him at the end. Hopefully once he is a bit older and a bit more settled, I'll be able to have him at my side more on the podcast without needing to placate him with peanut butter. And yeah, that'll be good. So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for watching today. Bye. You say bye.